Hello, Constitution Party. My name is Bill Finley, and for several years now I've been doing YouTube videos as Wild Bill for America. My mission in life is calling this nation back to the God and country principles upon which this nation was founded. Principles that I believe were the keys to the incredible success of the USA. I'm speaking to you today because I am convinced that the time has come for the people of the USA to have a third political party, a party that the voters really can trust to serve and protect. The Democrat Party is corrupted beyond redemption, and the Republican Party has followed suit to the point where their betrayals can no longer be tolerated. It's time for them to feel the consequences of their betrayals and their absolute failure to live up to their oath of office. I understand that the Libertarian Party is currently the number 3 party in the USA, and they have some good ideas, but many of their members are just plain nuts, which sets the stage for the Constitution Party. The time is almost here for the Constitution Party to rise to prominence. I say almost because as I speak today, we are in the middle of the Donald Trump-Hillary Clinton dogfight for the presidency, and the number one priority is the final defeat of Hillary Clinton, an extremist who is poised to finish the corrupting of the Supreme Court, which would bring disaster down on the heads of every freedom-loving American. The defeat of Hillary Clinton must be the top priority for today, and the only man in position to stop her is Donald Trump. I believe that if Hillary wins the White House, there may be no opportunity for a third party to rise. Washington, D.C. will have solidified into a one-party system, and they will crush anything that threatens their one-party rule, just like the good communists that they admire so much. And once the Trump-Clinton war is over and the smoke clears, America will be ready for the Constitution Party. Millions are, right now, ready to walk away from the Republican Party. More if the Republicans try to sabotage the 2016 elections. The Constitution Party needs to be prepared to welcome a horde of Republican refugees and to give them a new home. And believe it or not, there's a good chance that Democrats who can no longer stomach the growing sexual immorality of that party will also be looking for a new home. They can go with the crazy libertarians, or they can find a new home with the Constitution Party. So now is the time for the Constitution Party to ensure that it is the most attractive and welcoming political party of this era. I truly believe that if the Constitution Party will seize the day and do it right, that it will explode onto the American scene just like the party founders envisioned. Timing is critical, and the day after the 2016 November elections will be the time for the Constitution Party to make its move. Now, several years ago, the Tea Party exploded onto the political scene and scared the daylights out of the political hacks. The Tea Party was responsible for removing over 700 corrupt elected officials and replacing them with better people. But the Tea Party was not prepared for the long haul, nor was it flexible enough to deal with the onslaught from the enemies of freedom. I was Tea Party from day one. I traveled and spoke at Tea Party events from Florida to California. I saw the Tea Party victories, and I saw its failures. I watched as the Tea Party went from the most powerful political movement in America to being a shell of its former self. And I believe the Constitution Party can learn a lot from the rise and fall of the Tea Party, and I would like to help make sure that the Constitution Party does not make the same mistakes that led to the neutering of the Tea Party. I'm in talks now about doing an AM radio show here in Daytona that will be simulcast over the internet. The show will be called Outlaws Chapel Radio, and our motto is, when the laws of men violate the laws of God, our duty is clear. We must obey God rather than men. Sounds a lot like the original Constitution Party platform, doesn't it? Outlaws Chapel Radio will be hard-hitting commentary on the hot issues of the day and will hammer home the principles of America's founding fathers: honesty, integrity, patriotism, and faithfulness to Judeo-Christian principles. I'd like to use this show as a nationwide tool to plant the Constitution Party into the minds and lives of people from all walks of life. And we're beating the bushes right now to find some reliable sponsors. And as soon as we get a few $100s in monthly pledges, the show will launch. Meanwhile, I would like to establish some communications with Constitution Party leaders around the country. I met with Bill Wayland here in Florida, and we will soon be working together to build up the Florida chapters. Now here's where I stand. The Constitution Party will not succeed without wide support from the American people. The media will attempt to do to the Constitution Party what they did to the Tea Party. They will do their best to label us as racist and as angry, hate-filled people. Americans are not attracted to such people, so the Constitution Party will need a solid plan to defeat the attacks from the left-wing media. We will never, ever get a fair shake from the liberal media. Their mission will be to destroy the Constitution Party, and the only way to defeat them is to make an end run around them and go straight to the public ourselves. The Tea Party failed to effectively counter the attacks of the media and suffered terribly in the arena of public opinion. In fact, instead of outmaneuvering the media, the Tea Party retreated behind closed doors. Almost every Tea Party event I spoke at was in a closed setting. The Tea Party was preaching to each other when they should have been out there meeting with the public and gaining new members. In my humble opinion, for every event that is held behind closed doors, another one should be dropped right in the middle of the American public, where the men, women, and children of America can hear the message with their own ears. I tried unsuccessfully to get the Tea Party to come out from behind closed doors to hold community bashes in city parks where everybody in the county would be invited to come and enjoy good food, good music, dancing in the streets, and to hear inspiring speakers. That is how you defeat the left-wing media. They would never be able to slander us as racists if the American people know us on a personal level. Now here's a very important bullet of truth for the Constitution Party. If the Constitution Party fails to aggressively control its public image, the media will control it for you, and it will be ugly. I tried to get the Tea Party to have a public relations person for every chapter, someone who would consistently put the Tea Party in the public view in very positive ways. But they chose not to engage. Not only must you work to generate your own positive image, it's also important that you make it fun whenever you can. This is another valuable effect of the community bash. Give people something to smile about, and they'll keep coming back for more. The Tea Party failed to go out to enthusiastically meet the public. The media poisoned their reputation, and millions of people avoided the Tea Party like the plague. Do not let the media do the same thing to the Constitution Party. And here's another thing. To make people want to join the Constitution Party, they need to show people some victories. Americans do not want to be on a losing team. Now, years ago, I joined the Constitution Party in Colorado. I was very enthusiastic. The Constitution Party had the best party platform I had ever read. But the leadership seemed to be driving the reputation of the Constitution Party right into a mud hole. Now, it seemed obvious to me that the first thing to do was to spend time making the Constitution Party into a household name. School boards, city councils, sheriff's offices were ripe for the picking. I saw where Constitution Party members could fill those slots and start impacting America in all 50 states. But the leadership had other ideas. Instead of building a solid foundation all across the country, they decided they were going to shoot for the White House. I don't know how much money they spent trying to put Chuck Baldwin in as President of the United States, but every single dime they spent was wasted. Ralph Nader, the man who has been losing presidential races for decades, got 4 times the votes that Baldwin did. And that affected the image of the Constitution Party. Constitution Party? Oh yeah, you're the guys who couldn't even beat Ralph Nader. No thank you. Well, I fired off some pretty hot messages to Constitution Party leadership about how all that money could have been spent on successful campaigns to put our people in as mayors and county commissioners and state legislators as a way of building a solid platform from which to launch successful campaigns for the U.S. Congress and Senate and eventually a successful presidential campaign. Not only did I not get a single response, 4 years later, they did the same thing again and got the same results. And that is when I stopped being active in the Constitution Party. Until the Constitution Party has a string of success stories, Americans will shy away. I recommend that the Constitution Party make it a priority to put members on school boards in all 50 states. That's where they can start making a difference immediately. Also, state legislatures. Do not forget the power of the 10th Amendment. The states hold incredible power under our form of government. Find men and women of excellence, get them serving on state legislatures, and keep them front and center in the news. Give the American people a winning team and they will flock to be a part of it, especially now that both of the big political parties are so poisoned by corruption and immorality. Now, these are a few of the things that I see as critical to the success of the Constitution Party. There are a few others that are also important, but I would like to get some feedback from Constitution Party leaders around the country. The Tea Party lost its strength because it chose to retreat from the liberal media instead of taking them on and beating them at their own game. I would like to know that the Constitution Party isn't going to make the same mistakes the Tea Party made. So, please let me know if you think there's a place for me to serve in the Constitution Party. I look forward to hearing from you and hope that we will all work together to launch America's most successful political party of the new millennium. This is Wild Bill for America. Thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon. America, bless God again.